So I was going to ask, in this society, I know people portray Black men as absent fathers. How important is it for you to be a present father?
So um, it's very important for me because I want my children to know that their father is there, that it's not just mom. Even though, me and my ex-wife aren't together anymore, we still co-parent very well. So I wanted to make sure that it was not all on her to do everything or make sure that, because I know society puts a lot of emphasis on moms being important. Moms, it all being on the moms. And I wanted to make sure that, I'm present too, so it's going to be like I guess I'll use the term from our last week, the 50-50 thing. But I
Absolutely.
wanted to make sure that, I was as present as, she was, that I make an impact on their lives too, that they knew that their father was there.
I will say I do find it disgusting that the world continuously picks on Black men, not only with like racism, but being an absent father when you have every race that has their group of absent fathers that are out there, and it's just tough to watch. How does that make you feel as a Black man that people are continuously downing Black fathers, saying they're absent and they're not good fathers? How does that make you feel?
Me personally, it hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. And the thing is, I know that I'm present. I know that I'm here and I'm doing all the things that I need to do, for my kids and things like that. But even yet, still, like people can see me doing these things and they can see that I'm here for my kids and stuff, and I still get kind of lumped into that category. And that's one thing that bothers me a lot. Like I have been in several conversations, in person, sometimes even on here, where it's like, they'll see what I do because I post a lot about my kids, so they'll see the impact that I have on my kids, how hard I'm working at it, and things like that. Like I work every day, like I'm doing all the things. I come home, I cook, I clean, all that kind of stuff, and yet and still, it'll still be, well, dad is no good, or them daddies, they all right. Sometimes I'll get what I like to call a backhanded compliment. It's kind of like, oh yeah, you're doing all what you're supposed to do, but yet and still, we still got to do it all. And I never want to be that guy to take anything away from either role. Never want to be the one to take anything from like my ex. Her name is Tyra, by the way. I don't. It bothers me to say my ex.
Hey, what part are you? What
I would
part
just slide that in there. Yeah, her name is Tyra.
great
So,
relationship, so I'm glad that you covered
um,
some bases.
yeah. But yeah, it bothers me that I still get lumped into that role of
I hear you in the background. Hello.
yeah, he's here trying to get something to drink.
Thank you.
Yeah, I still got to be a dad while I'm sitting here, but that I get lumped into the role of not showing up, not doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, even when I am, and then it's kind of like, no, I'm doing everything, and it's like, okay, well then, yeah, you're the only one, but still, you still wouldn't be able to do half of that without mom, and it's kind of like, why do I have to fight so hard just to get some acknowledgement?
Well, I want to absolutely acknowledge you today as being a great father. Happy Father's Day. Do not let anyone
Thank you, thank you.
discourage you and make you feel like you're not a father, even though you are. And I'm glad to see that you are out here talking about fatherhood so more and more people can know that we do have great Black fathers out there and they're not all absent fathers.
Yeah,
So thank you for that.
thank you. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We were talking about the value of a father. What happens when dads show up? Um, I struggled a lot with this topic because it's like I know it's supposed to be my opinions, and I guess I have firsthand knowledge as a dad, but you never know what you're supposed to say or what the right thing is to say, if there's a right or wrong thing to say, as far as, the value of a father or what happens, when you're supposed to show up. So,
I think there's a wrong answer.
and there is no wrong answer. It's just dealing with the critics and what people think and stuff like that. So,
The older I get, the more I'm like, I don't know where to put things. Most
Yeah,
people will find they are miserable and they want you to be miserable as well. So take
right.
it with a grain of salt. What are some
Yeah.
things that you learned from your father that you now do when you parent your son and your daughter?
Um, man. So me and my dad did not have the best relationship. Even though he was a great provider, which is what people normally would say about fathers. He's a great provider. He did all the things that he was supposed to do, but there were still some things that I probably felt like I could have learned a little bit better from him. But he definitely taught me the importance of how to read people and how to not just give in to what people, give in to what people say, kind of be, I guess, a strong individual standing on my own 2 feet and things like that. Like, being able to think for myself and maybe kind of like the stronger side versus, from my mom's side, the more nurturing side, the more compassionate and stuff like that. His was more like, somebody telling you something like, you pay attention to pay attention to what you're doing.
That's tough love. He's so I love it. It's just tough love.
Yeah, tough love. Tough love is what I would call it.
Do you feel like men parent their sons different than they parent their daughters?
Say that again.
Do you feel like men parent their sons different than they parent their daughters?
I think so. I mean, I think I'm could possibly be a little more tougher with my son than it will be with my daughter. Um, I guess because I feel like she needs more love. I guess tenderness. I don't really know how to put it. Versus my son, who I can kind of roughhouse with him and play and things like that. But I still feel like they both can learn valuable lessons.
I know girls are more soft, so when dads are tough on us, it's hurt our feelings.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the happy Father's Day wishes. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, 1 minute. Let me go get him something to drink. Huh?
You're fine. I can talk to the chat. I can hold the chat down.
So let everybody know some of your experiences with dad and some things that you learned.
Knocking things down. Let's see. So many things. My dad definitely taught me how to drive because my mom is not a good driver like myself. In order for me to pass the driver's test, my dad took me to an empty parking lot at Sam's and took 2 water jugs and put them on each side and made me get in the F-350 truck and told me I had to parallel park. And if I knocked any of the gallons of water down, he would say, "All right, you got to start over." Versus my mom, I feel like she would be mortified if she had to teach me how to drive. It's
Yeah.
just things I go to my dad for versus things I go to my mom for. My dad, if you do for expert advice, he's not going to sugarcoat it. He's going to be completely honest. Probably too honest. Versus my mom is more nice and soft or nurturing with her answers. Come here.
And I think that's kind of normal though. Can y'all still hear me okay?
Hey, just fine.
Okay. So a question in the chat: do you think the type of father you had impacted the way you father your kids? I
Absolutely.
do. I do because I wanted to make sure that. So I feel like my dad didn't do a whole lot with me, and that kind of affected me in a sense that I don't know, that bothered me a lot. I did a lot of things with my mom and stuff, so I learned a lot of things from her. I still learn things from my dad, but it definitely impacted me in a way that I said I was going to be very present in my kids' lives, and I wanted to make sure that they knew I was here, even though they can physically see me. I wanted my presence felt. I wanted them to know that I cared and things like that.
I talk to both my parents every single day, even though my parents weren't together. I would go to my dad's house every other day. So we're very, very close. I
Okay.
feel like I am a lot like my dad in some ways, so sometimes we bump heads, and that kind of drives me crazy. But I think that's normal with every parent. As far as parenting, I honestly think that my parents have more patience now that they're grandparents than they did when they were parenting me. My dad was very playful growing up. He wasn't really the disciplinary, but my mom was. So I feel like I get more of my disciplinary side from her. Um, I just love my dad and my daughter's relationship though. They do a lot of things together that we did together as far as going to look at cars or sharing the interest in electronics. So I do like that aspect of it. But as far as being like disciplined, my dad's like really, really chill when it comes to raising daughters. But for my brothers, oh, he got on them. There was no lecture. You're gonna get popped.
Okay, so I'm just kind of straightforward with them, but for you, it was kind of a lecture and a talk and things like that.
Sometimes not really. It was I definitely do remember sometimes as a child him saying, "Tell your mom I talked to you," but not really having a conversation. Is my mom still in the chat? I'm gonna get my dad in trouble.
Right? Yeah, you might.
My dad does not like when people complain about his kids. I had a teacher in high school that would complain that I was always late to her class, which I would go from one side of Klein Collins to the other side of the school to get to her class. And, sometimes I would be late. And she called my dad, and I said, "You probably shouldn't call my dad. He's gonna turn it on you." And she called him anyways, and he was like, "I think you're the problem. How about you keep the classroom door open so she can come to class?" He said, "Matter of fact, how about we time you walking from one side of school to the other and see if you can make it in time?" And I was like,
Yeah.
when I was like, "I told you not to call my dad." Then he turned over her to her boss. So
Wow.
let's just say if I had to go to the bathroom or anything, I was able to in that class because that teacher was terrified with my dad. Oh, my mom is in the chat. He definitely has zero tolerance when it comes to saying anything negative about his kids. My dad does not play. If my dad is dating someone and that someone says something mean or just does anything to make us upset, my dad will cut them off immediately. He's like, "You don't like them? Done. You'll never see them again."
So, do
But
you think that there are lessons that you probably learned from both mom and dad, but maybe that you learned differently from your dad?
definitely with my dad. I think that my dad, both my parents are very hard workers, very, very, very hard. But I think I am a workaholic like my dad. Because my dad always makes comments like, no matter how much money you make, there's always going to be another bill. So there's an opportunity to work overtime, work the overtime, because you never know what's going to happen. But sometimes I do look at that and I think about my childhood, and my dad worked a lot. I would see him, but majority of the time he was working. And I'm like that now with my parenting. I'm always working. And I'm like, oh no, I'm that parent that I said I wasn't going to be. I'm a workaholic. Like, we're going to have fun and travel and do things, but majority of the time I do work. That's a perfectionist. Absolutely.
Okay.
Perfectionist like my dad. Like, both of my parents are very clean. Do not look at the background of my house. I did not dust. Is my mom still on here? I can see that being a problem. My parents are very, very clean. I am clean like my dad. I'm just not as clean as my dad, if that makes sense. There was a time my dad sold his house and he lived with me. I was like, "Why don't you live with me? I'm never home anyways. I work night." And there was a time I was wiping my counter and my dad stopped mid sentence and was like, "I'll just do it because you're not doing it right." It's like, what? Mind you, in my 30s, I know how to clean my house. He's just like, "It's going to bother me. You're not doing it right. Just leave. I'll clean it." It's like, oh my gosh. But my dad's parents were very, very clean people. They weren't military, but they were like military. Very, very clean, very picky. Everything had to be done a certain way. And my dad is like that. And with my daughter, I do find myself when she is cleaning that I sometimes want to take over. But I'm like, she's not going to learn if I don't let her. So I need to back off.
Yeah. Welcome in, everybody. Again, this is Too Good For You podcast. We're talking about the importance or the value of fathers, since it is Father's Day, and just what happens when dad shows up, the impact that your dad may have had on your life. Not to make it a competition between mother and father, because I feel like society does that a lot already. So that's not what this is supposed to be about. This is just supposed to kind of shed just a little light on the dads today, only because a lot of times, dads in general, and sometimes, black dads, there's kind of a stereotype sometimes, of, dads not being present, or, dads not doing their equal share and things like that. And so a lot of times my goal, is to kind of bring awareness to that, because as a dad that co-parents, because me and my wife, my ex-wife Tyra, I'm gonna keep saying her name because I don't like saying ex. I don't know why that bothers me so much. um we co-parent. No, we're not married anymore, we're divorced and everything, but I still do what I'm supposed to do, and she still does what she's supposed to do. So we both still do the equal share of taking care of our kids, and it's all about the kids now. It's not about whether or not she still has feelings for me or if I still have feelings for her, and we use and pit the kids against each other, because that happens a lot also. And sometimes that can prevent fathers from even being in their kids' lives, because that's just sometimes that's the way it works. One parent may use the kids against the other and stuff like that. So today, like I said, I just want to bring awareness to the fathers that actually are showing up, because yeah, unfortunately, there are some dads that are not doing what they're supposed to do, and the unfortunate thing about that is that role and that stereotypes gets put on a lot of dads and all dads and stuff like that. So I try to fight against that at every chance that I get, especially for dads that are actually showing up and doing what they're supposed to do for their kids. And just also to, bring awareness that, dads, we struggle too. Like, there are things that we kind of struggle with, and that, we have hard days and stuff like that. But sometimes we're not allowed to say those things. Society does not let us hurt. They don't let us feel like we're supposed to be like strong all the time, a strong provider, and we're not supposed to be tied or anything like that. So
For women, we always say it takes a village to raise kids. Do you feel like being a father, do you also have the opportunity, like access to a village to help you with your kids?
I do. I feel like she has a lot more friends that are willing to help her. I have a few that I guess are willing to help if I was to reach out and say, hey, I need help or things like that. But that's not necessarily something that I've done, and it could be a guy thing, because we oftentimes feel like we have to stand on our own, or we don't reach out for help and stuff like that. So, if I'm feeling some kind of way, if as far as like fathering or parenting and stuff like that, I do have my brothers that I can reach out to kind of talk to. But yeah, there are a lot of times that I struggle too, though.
I think every parent does. I don't think that men talk about that enough, actually. So thank you. What was it like being a first-time father? Are you scared?
Very scared. Very scared in the idea that I did not know what to do, because yeah, yeah, it's the unknown. I guess it's the fear of the unknown. Like, am I gonna be, depending on the kind of dad you have, like, am I gonna be anything like my dad, or am I gonna be better? Am I gonna be worse? Is my kid gonna like me? Am I gonna do the right things and stuff like that? Like, it was all of those things lumped into one. Like, still very excited to be a dad, but the fear of the unknown.
Do you call your dad for advice sometimes when parenting your son?
I don't. And even when my dad passed in 23.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Did you tell me that before? I don't know.
I don't. I don't know if I did or not, but yeah, he passed in 2022. But like I said, we didn't have the best relationship. Even growing up, like I didn't have just the closest. Like I wasn't just close to my dad. I guess you could say, like we did a lot of things together. He did work a lot. He was a truck driver for the most part, so he was gone a lot. Was home on the weekends, but typically if he was home, he was probably asleep because he was tired, and then he'd leave right back out. Now there are things that I remember about my dad that I loved about it because he was a truck driver, so he used to bring his truck home, and it always fascinated me. There were things that fascinated me about my dad, but and I wanted to be like him in a sense, until I started kind of growing up, and it's kind of like we kind of grew apart in a sense, like, and I'm not gonna say that he didn't have time for me or anything like that. I don't want to speak bad on him, but I definitely felt like we could have done more, but it kind of got to the point to where we just kind of separated. So,
Your dad parents your sister differently than he parented you?
maybe I feel like he was a little easier on her, but I feel like both of my parents were a little bit easier on her.
Oh, I always say you can live in the same household as your siblings, but everyone has a different perspective. Everyone's like, I was raised this way, or they remember things that you don't remember in the household, and you're like, what? When did that happen? Or that never happened. So you feel like that as well. Like they are.
Sometimes, yeah.
Are you older than your sisters too, or are you younger?
I'm older. Yeah, I'm older, so I always say the oldest child was the test subject.
Yeah, look at it. The hardest. They're still figuring it out. And once they
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, my son, he probably was a test subject. Now my daughter, yeah, we kind of knew what we was gonna do with that one, but yeah, my son, yeah, he definitely was like the is this right or wrong type deal. But did I call him? Not necessarily. When I went, when I would visit him, yeah, I mean, he would give me different perspectives. Like he would offer a different perspective on certain situations that my mom probably would, but I would get a different thought from him. So definitely different in that aspect. And there were some things that I could talk to him about, but my dad, my dad could set me off in a matter of like 10 minutes of talking to him to the point to where it's like I'm just not gonna call over here like for the
you
next week
talk,
or
you're
so.
like, oh, I regret calling. I'm gonna hang up now. Does your dad like start lecturing you, and then that just sets you off, or?
It wasn't a lecture, it was more so him fussing about something, and
I know.
I'm yeah, I'm more of the kind of like I'm just like I'm gonna move around. Like my sister, she could deal a lot. She could deal a lot better. But me, I'm kind of like I'm a back off. I'll be back.
I remember just seeing how fast my dad made money and how he made good money. My mom as well. She's also made really good money when she worked for GE. And I always said, okay, I can't wait till I get my degree and make good money. I remember the first time I made six figs, I was so happy. I was like, look, I made good money. And my dad was like, that ain't shit. I was making way more than that back then, way before I was your age. He's like, you need to get your shit together. You need to step it up a bit. And I was like, whoa. My dad is always very, very tough though. Every year he's like, okay, you made this amount, so next year you need to make more. Every year you need to make more. Set a goal for yourself. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. But one day, I don't know when, I just want to make more. So I'd be like, aha, I finally made more money than you.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of those things that you can learn the same lesson from two different from both parents, but in a different way. So maybe your mom was like, "Oh yeah, that's good," and your dad was like,
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. My dad's like, that's not enough.
"Yeah, that ain't."
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there were certain situations I could talk to my mom about, and she provide one. It's like, okay, and I talked to my dad, and he's like, yeah, no, like, like, don't deal with that. Like, okay, well,
What was your dad's reaction when you proposed and you said you're going to get married? Did you have a conversation first before proposing, or you just proposed and told him after?
I think I proposed and told him afterwards. Oh, I definitely did not talk to him because my mind, and I'm not necessarily proud of it, but yeah, my mindset there was like, why do I need to talk to you about that? Because they were divorced by then, so I'm like,
I don't want their
I don't see
advice.
what advice I get for you. But now, me being divorced, I can kind of see both sides. I understand it a little bit better. You learn, you grow, you learn things like that. Somebody asks, how do I cope with the day-to-day stresses of fatherhood on rough days? It's one of those things where I just know that I have to keep going on whether I want to or not. Depending on what I'm going through that day, there are some people that I can call and, kind of vent to, kind of talk to and things like that. But if not, it's one of those things where I just know that I have to keep going on because there's nobody else here to do it. Especially in the situation that I'm in now. Like, yeah, I can call Tyra if I need to, if it's something I absolutely need to help with. But, my goal is not to impact her. This is supposed to be on me this week. I'm going to do what I got to do. But yet and still, we still co-parent with each other. So we're still, we feed off of each other and things like that. But as far as like dealing with the stresses, I find different outlets. But, I try to make sure that the kids are taken care of. And then I try to make sure that I kind of take care of myself and find that time for myself in whatever way that can be. If it's social media, if it is, I don't know, watching a movie or just, sitting, sometimes I just sit in the dark. It might sound sad, but sometimes I just sit in the dark and I just think,
Dark and a little crime session.
or sometimes music is kind of my outlet. So I'll listen to music and I'll just turn it up loud. Sometimes that just kind of allows me just to not even think about stuff. It's like, let my mind run free for a few minutes. And
Singing voice from your dad or your mom?
my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Did you realize you had a nice singing voice like your mom?
Say that again.
When did you realize you had a nice singing voice like your mom?
I think they always knew. My mom tried to convince me to sing at an early age, and I was just against it because I don't know. I wasn't really confident about it, and I think that's one thing that I didn't necessarily get, that I wasn't necessarily taught. And I feel like that's probably one of the things that you can learn from both parents, but I feel like dads probably try to push it a little bit more. But that's not necessarily something that I wasn't really confident about it and things like that. So I kind of realized it at an early age. I mean, a lot of people told me, uncles and stuff, they told me, but I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. I fought against it for a long time.
Was your dad a dancer? He danced? Did your mom dance?
No.
Was your dad like one of those dads that when you had family or anyone come over, like, hey, come in here, show them your special talent, come out here and sing for everybody? Was he one of those dads?
Kind of, sort of. So my dad, so I was into computers at an early age, so I would work on fixing everybody's computer. So my dad was kind of that one, like, oh, Quincy can do it for you, and Quincy can do this like that. So he was very proud of his kids. He just showed it in his own way, which is a real strong way, not showing a whole lot of emotion and stuff like that. And I think that's one thing that fathers should teach their kids, is how to show that it's okay to show emotion and things like that. Because do I?
No, I'm saying it's okay to cry.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I have a friend of mine. They're not on here, so I'm not gonna get too many details, but I'll tell the stories. I have a friend of mine who was going through some stuff. We are really close, and he's a father also, and he was kind of telling me, some of the things that he was going through, and that, he's not divorced or anything like that, but he felt like, he wasn't heard at home and things like that, and that he wasn't allowed to feel, and he would kind of voice his opinions to his wife, how some things he was struggling with, and it was kind of like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but what about me? And he's like, man, I'm trying to do better with this job. I'm trying to get these things. I'm trying to do better in life. I'm just trying to do better for my family, and sometimes I struggle. And the one place I should be able to talk to, or one person I should be able to talk to, I can't talk to because it's kind of like she always makes it about her. You know, she understands, but at the same time, well, what about what I got going on and things like that. And he said it kind of gets to the point to where it's like, what's the point of me even saying anything? Like, I love my wife. I don't want to leave. I'm not trying to leave my family. You know, I'm gonna be there for them, but it's kind of like I don't say anything because what's the point? Like, I'm not allowed to have a bad day. I'm not allowed to hurt. I'm not allowed to any of these things because that's just kind of what society does. And I really didn't like that for him. Like that bothered me a lot because I feel like the one safe place that you should have is home. And especially if you're married, you know, if you have a family, that should be the one place where you can break down. Like as a dad, as a man, as a father, you know, that should be your family should be the one place that you can still break down and still look strong, and that should be able to look like strength. And that's not taught.
No. Communication is key. They have to work on their communication skills. Sometimes people talk and they're not really listening to their spouse and how they're actually feeling. So that's hard, but hopefully they can figure things out
Yeah,
or listening. Because, I mean, as a father, of course, just like a mom, you go through things.
right.
It's hard. Just like, I know there's many books about being a father and being a mom, but nothing really prepares you until you have that child and you're like, oh my goodness, I have someone's life in my hands that I'm responsible for. And it is so
That you are responsible for. Yes, definitely responsible for. So,
on the outside, I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. But inside, I'm like going crazy inside. Like, did I put up enough money for college? Did I do this? Did I do that? I have to buy her a car. I have to do this. It's like so much.
yeah, did I make sure I did everything? All right, I'm gonna go to work. I'll be back. You know, did I make enough money today? Or am I doing enough? Are they happy? Are things like that? Like those are all things from a father's perspective. You know that we think about, and you will have the two parent homes where both parents are working and things like that. But I feel like each parent has their own role, and sometimes one parent may have to take on both roles, whether it be the dad is not in the home, or maybe sometimes even where the mom is not there and dad has to do both things. I think it's possible for either one to do both things, but I think that both parents probably do things a little differently, where the child can get a different perspective from both. They're like me, yeah. So I think my goal is just to let fathers know that it's okay to not be strong all the time. Like, you can have those moments where you're just like, man, it's just hard out here.
Okay, to have those moments, just don't sit there and stay in it too long. You gotta come
Yeah,
out.
don't sit there in it. Don't sit there in it. But yeah, it's okay to feel like you don't have it all together, or feel like you don't know what to do and things like that.
I feel like there's so many groups for women when it comes to motherhood, but I don't see a lot of groups and things for men out there that are fathers. So hopefully we start seeing more of that out there because you
You
all need
won't,
support as well.
you won't, yeah, you won't see that kind of thing. Thank y'all for the gifts. You won't see that amongst men because a lot of times men just don't open up
Gotta
like that. Say that again.
that they have to open up more and come together and have those groups so you can come together and have conversations about the challenges you're experiencing being a father.
I mean, we should, because I mean, they definitely could benefit from it, but a lot of times, like, it just doesn't happen that way. Like, men they don't open up because a lot of times they don't want to seem weak.
I honestly think the total opposite. I like when men open up. I don't think it's a form of being weak. I think it's more of them being a good communicator, in touch with their emotions, a good person. I don't like the people that keep things to themselves and ball it up and then explode on you later. So I'd rather someone that opens up and talks about how they're feeling.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the best. That's the best way to just kind of let it out and communicate. Unfortunately, the thing is, like I was talking about with my friend, he tried, he did that, and I saw how, he was telling me how it was kind of received. Like, it's just like, I've said it, because I was like, maybe you should just talk, say this, say that. And he was like, yeah, I've tried that. It's just like, okay, I get it, but what about this bill? This bill needs to be paid. What about this? Like, it's like, I'm gonna let you sit there for a minute, but then you need to come on back out of it. Like, and so, I kind of had to tell him, it's like, look, if nobody else tells you, man, I see what you're doing. You're doing a great job, and just keep doing what you're doing. And he kind of almost broke down then, because it's kind of like we don't. And I told him, I said, us as men, we don't do this enough. Fathers don't do this enough for each other. Like, we don't encourage each other enough, and that bothers me. I mean, there are some fathers out there that are going through some real things, that could use a community, but a lot of times we don't trust as easy. We don't trust, and a lot of that is taught from fathers, just to be strong, and don't ever let nobody see you cry. Don't ever do this kind of thing. It's kind of a taught behavior sometimes for sons anyway.
So you'll tell your son it's okay to cry and get in touch with his emotional side and speak out.
Yeah. I've had to do it in the past few years. I've tried to hold it all in, and it almost wrecked me. Like, it almost tore me up.
It's not good to hold all that in.
Definitely not good to hold it all in.
Hey, like this conversation.
Uh-huh.
I said I like this conversation. I feel like we went really deep.
Yeah. Like I said, I was kind of nervous about it at first because I didn't really know where the direction was going to go. But for those of you that are just coming in, thank y'all for coming in. This is the Too Good For You podcast. We're just talking about fathers on this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to the ones that have just arrived in. Hope y'all are having a great Father's Day. Y'all have questions or comments, please put them in the chat.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in. And happy Father's Day to everyone that's out there. This year's flown by. It doesn't even feel like it's June or it's Father's Day. Like, I feel like it should be February or something. I don't know. It's just going by a little too fast.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
definitely going by fast.
it's something that I hate. Do you have anything planned for the rest of the day for Father's Day?
No.
Fine with the kids?
No, it's gonna be a normal schedule for me. I mean, I got my kids. They come back at noon every other Sunday. Hold on. Hey, buddy.
Dad live in action right now, multitasking. We love to see it.
Oh man. All right.
Being a parent.
But yeah, I don't have anything special planned. I mean, it's kind of the same. It's kind of more routine for me, since both my kids are special needs, but my son more so. So I kind of have to stick to a routine with him, so that doesn't really change. So my day has kind of been filled with cooking, washing clothes, all of those normal things that have to be done.
What did you get as a gift for Father's Day?
They got me a organizer for like cologne, watches, and stuff like that.
Fancy. Is there anything that you did not get for Father's Day that you did want as a gift?
No, not really. I don't ask for much, and I know there are a lot of fathers out there that'll be like, "I don't need anything. Don't get me anything." But low key, we actually do like gifts.
I love the honesty. I knew it. I knew you all like gifts.
I'm gonna just say it, and they can deny that they want to, but we like getting gifts. Like, even though we say don't get me anything, we still want something.
Mom, what do you mean another kiddo? What? Yeah, another kiddo. Who's having another kid? Not me.
Not me either.
Oh, you're commenting on the wrong chat. That should exist. I'm trying to enjoy my summer.
But no, there's not anything that I did not get.
Father's Day. That's what she's saying. Do you want another kid for Father's Day? He said no. She's over here trying to jinx you with another baby. Better him than me. Thank you, Mom. I'm glad we're here because I have a teenager and I'm not starting over.
Yeah, I don't want another one right now. I got my hands full with the two that I got, so I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Said
good.
right now, he didn't say in the near future that he wouldn't change his mind. So possibly Quincy will have another kid, is what he's saying. You're open to that?
I don't know. I don't know.
He's
I
saying-
can't. I couldn't really answer right now. I don't know. I'm gonna just be honest. I have no idea. As of right now, if I had to answer at this very moment, no, I'm not trying to have no more.
He's like, no, I'm good. I'm not trying to do that. We still have to get you in the pool so you can learn how to swim. So you can
I do need to do that, and I'm gonna do that with my kids. That's one thing that we're gonna try to do together.
Amazing. Is there any gift that you said you wanted for Father's Day that you didn't get? Anything? No.
I mean, they typically give me pretty good stuff, or their mom gets me good stuff because they ain't got
Hey,
no
like,
jobs.
watching, is there anything that you want Tyra to get really quick before Father's Day ends? It's like I keep bringing it up, and you're like, no. Tyra, I try to help him out.
Time.
Gift that you have received, like, is there a gift that you just absolutely loved that you got in the past?
She got me a clock last year that had their names on it, like Happy Father's Day, and so I mean I still have that one. My daughter, I mean, she always puts thought into it. I mean, even though it's funny the stuff that she thinks to get me, because I think last year she was like, I know what I'm gonna get you for Father's Day. I'm gonna get you a Kit Kat and a Sun Kiss because I know those are your favorite. And yeah, I'm like, it's like thank you, but because I see you pay attention to me, but also don't point out my bad habits.
Someone asked in my YouTube chat, I keep forgetting that I have YouTube on here. Someone asked, what does it say here? Do you give your child's father a gift on Father's Day? Why or why not? I mean, that's my daughter's job. We're divorced. I'm sure he's in a relationship, and I don't know how that would look, me getting him a gift. Yeah, we've been divorced for a long time, like 12 years, guys. I don't sit here and give this man gifts for Father's Day or birthdays or Christmas. No, if anything, that's my daughter's. Like my mom's not gifting my dad anything for Father's Day. They're not together.
Would you do it on behalf? Would you do it on behalf of her? Like if she wasn't able to?
Little mama in there got some money. She's able to. She's spoiled. Okay. So I let her do that on her own. No. I'm not the ex-wife that gives the ex anything for Father's Day. I know your situation's different. You and Tyra get each other gifts. We do not. But I mean,
we do because they can't. Well, they can't right now. They don't have any money. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I kind of have to.
She got more money, you know. She can give and do whatever she wants. I don't partake in that. I also don't ever want my ex to be like, oh, she bought me a gift. She wants me. No.
I do realize you run that risk also.
No, I don't give gifts. I don't do any of that stuff. No. My daughter got it. I know she got money in there. She probably got more money than me right now. My daughter, every time I look up, she has a water cache, and I already know it's from my parents. Oh, my mom said I give gifts in the kid's name. Okay, so my mom does give my dad gifts, but she puts it in our name. Okay, am I the only parent out here that is divorced that does not give the ex a gift for Father's Day?
Well, like you say, so my situation is kind of different. Like my kids, they're still young, so they don't have anything. So I kind of have to do it for them, which I think is why she does it for me.
We don't gift each other gifts for birthdays, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father. We don't do that. Yeah. And to be honest, if he got me a gift, that'll make me feel really weird. Like, why are you buying me this?
No, we definitely make sure that we say it's from the kids. This is what the kids got you. But because we know each other, we kind of know what the other person wants. And there are times like, hey, what do you want for Mother's Day? What do you want for Father's Day? And stuff like that.
Honestly, don't know what my ex would even want as a gift. Again, we have not been together in 12 years. I have no idea what to buy. Your dad and I buy each other Xmas gifts. Yeah, my parents do buy each other's gifts, but they've known each other for 40 years. So, you know, me and my ex, yeah, I have no idea what to buy him. I'll leave that to my daughter. That was a good question, though.
Yeah.
I'm more of a person. Once I'm done with someone, I'm done. There's no like buying gifts, communication, none of that. I think I have one ex that I did tell Happy Father's Day to, but this is the same ex. I'm spilling all my tea. This is the same ex. He has my location. And anytime I travel, I do text him and tell him that I'm traveling, or if I'm like going out, I tell him I'm going out. I think he has a picture. He does have a picture of my passport. But yeah, we're just cool like that. That is the only ex that I told or would ever tell Happy Father's Day. But I mean, is he really an ex? We didn't really date for a long time. He's the homie. That's the homie. But what I will say, when I got drugged in Houston, he was the first person I called. I didn't call my parents. I didn't call 911. I didn't even call the cousin I was with at first. I don't know what I was thinking, but I called him first. So,
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good friend then.
that is a good friend. That is a really good friend. If I need anything, I know who to call.
Oh,
So happy
yeah.
Father's Day to that ex. Shout out to you. I don't think he watches this though.
Welcome in, everybody. So we are nearing the end, but definitely thank y'all for showing up. And like I said, this was to more so shed some light on the value of a father and what that looks like for fathers that are actually showing up for their kids. So what I'll say is this: we know we take Father's Day for the fathers, and we get to say Happy Father's Day, and we give them that one day. I think I was in a few chats this week, and they were like, "Oh, what kind of necktie are you getting this week for Father's Day, or this year for Father's Day?" And it's like, why I only gotta on here. It's like, why I only gotta get a necktie,
My dad was, what are those glasses called that you record? I forgot.
All the I know what the
Meta
metal
glasses?
jacket.
Like I have the Ray-Ban ones.
Okay.
My parents give it. It can't go over $500. That's their max. You hear that, mom? After 500, you're on your own. Okay, you can either get a gift or I'll sell you the cash. So that was his gift this year for Father's Day.
But what I will encourage everyone to do is if your father's still there, just let them know that you appreciate them. Sit them down, let them know, hey, I appreciate you. Even if you got them a gift or anything like that, I promise you, the fact that you sit them down and you just say, hey, I appreciate you, or you really let them know that, hey, I really appreciate everything you've done, that will likely mean a lot more than a gift. And even like if y'all are out there that are married, have things like that, and if the dad is still present, the father's there, he's doing everything that he's supposed to do for the home, like just sit him down and just be like, hey, we appreciate you. Now he might look at you weird because that's what men do. We probably gonna be like, okay, like, all right, like, what's wrong with yeah,
Hug you, y'all are like,
yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be like, okay, all right, cool, but just make them sit there and just be like, no, we appreciate you, like, for real, and just let him know that, like, I promise that's gonna mean a whole lot more to him than this the one gift. And don't do it just on Father's Day. Do it throughout the year. Maybe if you don't want to do it every day, do it once a month. Just let your dad or your father know, or the father of your kids, just let him know that he's appreciated and that you do see him. Because like I say, a lot of times we will carry things with us that we won't talk about, only because we feel like we don't have the opportunity or just the space to do it. So just give them that opportunity. Just let them know that I see you, I appreciate everything you're doing, we appreciate you, the family appreciates you, and we love you. Do that for me.
Absolutely. Someone said, "What am I doing?" I'm playing with my dog. He keeps scratching me. I don't know. You guys
Thank
can
y'all
see
for the
that.
gift. Appreciate it.
Happy Father's Day to all the. Ouch! That was a big scratch. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day. So again, thank y'all. That hour went by pretty quick.
Really quickly, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Father's Day.
I am. I'm gonna go wash some more clothes and finish dinner. And go get the kids ready for this week, get them ready for school, get myself ready. All of those things I gotta do, but we're not gonna hold Chanel any longer because she probably got to get to work.
Yes, I do have to go to work. Gotta go save some lives.
You gotta go to work. I gotta get over here and do some things, but definitely thank y'all for all the support that y'all are giving us. This thing is definitely growing. We're gonna be trying to stream on Twitch, YouTube, and some of the other platforms to make it a little bit easier for everybody to access. But
For next week, we don't have a subject yet for next week. We're just taking this day at
we're
a
just
time.
winging it right now. Like
I know. We're just kind of winging it. We're both pretty busy with our personal lives and work lives, so
we're just winging it right now. But this week was pretty easy because it was Father's Day, so I was like, all right, let's do something for fathers. Let's bring some awareness to that. So this week was kind of easy. Next week, we don't know yet. Like we gotta think about it for a minute.
we'll get back to you about that. We'll post about it.
Yeah, we got to think about it for a minute. But definitely thank y'all for the support, the comments, the feedback that we get off of here. We really appreciate it.
All right, you guys, have a good day. I'm gonna go get ready for work before I'm late again.
You have a good day at work.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.